Hi, I'm Mark from Mark of the Cyberbeast. This week, we've got a brand new Rearview dash cam that is absolutely freaking amazing, so stay tuned. And welcome back. Okay. A couple months back, we installed and I reviewed the Handshow Rearview dash cam, which I thought was good. But guess what? Teststudio's got one here that is absolutely freaking amazing. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, the resolution on this camera is so much better. It's more clear. It's even clearer than the one that comes with from Tesla, from the factory. And still has the other features where you can scroll up and scroll down to kind of fit it into your line of sight. Except on this one, I mounted the camera on the top by the tonneau cover, as you can see here, okay? And this way I've got a higher vantage point, so in case I'm towing, I can see more than it being down by my license plate, because the one on my screen here, which I can activate by going in reverse, is at the lower level here. You can see the bumper here on the side, so it's a much lower vantage point. You can see the sun blaring it versus here where the sun's at the top. So it gives me a much higher perspective. Also, just a clearer image, totally clear image. I'll have the specs on it below of the resolution. Allows you to put your time right here, but it does a couple other things that are different than the other one. You can pair this with an app they have to your phone, Android or iPhone. I've got an Android. And it allows you to control this from an app on your phone. The cool thing is you can go in here, same thing, you can hit a picture and do a still picture. You can turn the recording on and off, turn the mic on and off. You got your settings, you got your brightness. This does let you go real bright. It doesn't need to be that bright though. With the other one, you can split the screen front and back as well. And you can even just go just the front if you wanted to. And you can see here, I can move the camera display up and down. But as you can see, I'm at the top. There's my tonneau cover, much bigger vantage point. And the cool thing, the reason why it gets you so much higher quality, this uses a fiber optic cable to go back there, okay? Now, I was able to put this on the top roof. You can put this down by the bumper. You just gotta be careful because you don't want to put it below the bumper, because if you take that plastic cover off and use your hitch, which hopefully you're using because this is a truck, then that has nothing to attach to. So on my Handshow, I had it on top by the license plate, but I wanted to go with a higher vantage point just because the rear view mirror on here is already at the lower level. It's kind of redundant, but having this at the top level, especially because I tow jet skis, it's nice having that vantage point right there. Now, again, the quality on this, it's much higher resolution, much higher pictures per frame. Another thing about this that I really liked, the other one had a spot on the sides for SD card. There's no spot on the side for an SD card. It's built in. The other great feature, you can manually turn this on and off, but the cool thing about this Rearview dash camera, automatically turns on and off when you turn your car on and off. The other one I had from Handshow, the basic model, it just was a manual process. And oftentimes I would turn it off. I come back to my car and I guess I kind of woke up on sleep. I came in and this thing drained a lot of my battery. So this turns off automatically. A couple suggestions though. Number one, the screw that holds this in, okay, there's a screw that goes in here and that's what holds it in. You're gonna wanna go to Home Depot and get a longer one, not that much longer. In fact, I'll put a picture of it below if I can, of what size I got. But you want something that goes a little bit further, because if you use the screw that just came with the rear view mirror, it's going to be real tough to put in. So you get one that's about 1/4 inch longer and you'll be fine. Again, this is something that is a bit different than the other one. The power is not coming from under here. I ran the wire across here, back over and down, and back in that corner is where I have the two connectors where it draws the power to turn on and off. And that's what I'm going to show you in the next video of how I went ahead and did the installation, because the installation instructions were a little vague as to where that power was. So we're going to show you that installation part right now. Okay, so I want to give you some installation tips. What you'll want to do is right here, this stripping right here, it's not glued in, it could be popped right out. And I went ahead and used this plastic piece to pry open the side panel. And that what you're going to want to do is remove your, if you have a plastic mat or even a carpet mat, remove your mat here, because this area here that you're going to pull off, it's going to get in the way if you have your mat here. You want your mat removed. I learned that the hard way. So starting with right up top here where the white is, you're going to take this strip off and remove this panel right here. And you're going to remove this panel pretty far. In fact, what you'll see right here, there's another panel behind it. Okay, you can kind of see right there. You got to remove both of those because you've got two pieces you need to remove. You've got this connector right here along the, move back further so you see it's right along the door wall here, right below that white stripe, right along here. And then the other one is a blue at the very end. Right here you'll see this black cover. Now what I did is I used a 10mm ratchet right here, and I removed this nut and moved it over to the side so I could see in here better. There is a blue, a black, a purple, a black, and then finally a blue connector. This blue connector has a piece you need to press in, which is, I'll point to it right here in the middle, and then pull it right out. That is your connector. That will go in here, and the other one will go right here as well. So those are the two connectors that you'll need to remove, and then you'll get that wire, and you're going to run that wire right up through here, and you're going to send the wires to the rear view mirror dash cam, and then your other wire for the rear is going to go back here. Okay, so you're going to pull this inside here and pop this out and put it right alongside here. But again, you're going to go ahead, go along the top here, and it hides right behind here very easily. You're going to pull open right up top here, which is your hazard as well as your manual buttons for your park, drive, and reverse, as well as take this on to remove the dash cam. But that's how it installs, is right down here. I'm going to fade out a bit and show you. Just look for this connector right here along the sidewall right here, and then go right back here, and you have to push this out. The very last blue piece is the one you want to use. Those two connectors. Okay, so for some advice right here, I plug the device into the car first, and then I plug the blue into the white, stuff this back here, ran the wire, plug this back in over here, and fed it in, and then went ahead and ran the wire back up towards the windshield and back over to the rear view mirror. Once you do that, the hard part's over. And just remember to get this piece off over here. To get access, there's a plastic, what I call a plastic pop rivet, I guess, for lack of a better term. This pop rivet comes out, and behind here is where you plug that in. But you have to put that pop rivet back in before you can go ahead and put this side panel in and close everything up. So hopefully you're now fully installed. You see it wasn't that bad. I ran the wire, and again, I was able to hide it underneath the tonneau cover and get it on in here and put it on top, and it kind of looks neat the way it is over there. It's a little nub on top. I'm sure aerodynamically that little nub is not going to really destroy my my mileage on my vehicle, but like I said, the safety feature, my wife loves this because number one, I think it gives a much clearer, way much clearer picture than the Tesla one, plus a better vantage point. Plus, if you ever need dash cam footage, when you go in here, okay, and we go to your settings, in here, you have your playback, and here's your list of all your videos, and you can just go ahead and press on it, and it does the audio, as you can see. You can fast forward it. You can go down to one here. Hopefully I'm driving. Nope. All ones here that I'm in the truck video recording. If you did any photos, the photos are right here when you hit the photo button. Okay. That's the front view. Here's the rear view. Great functionality. You also have in your settings, obviously you could turn your clock off. You can change it to 24-hour mode. All your settings are in here. You can change the quality mode of the camera. You can reformat your card, your SD card that is built into it. You don't have to add anything to it, but you hit DVR and goes straight back to here. And I'm just going to turn the microphone off so it doesn't record the audio. But this is the front camera, and then that's the rear. And again, you can have the split view if you ever wanted to. You're looking forward, so it really makes no sense. But I really like this one. This is a little bit more money than the other one, not much, but it also in the left-hand corner is a red dot. It tells you it's recording. So again, for the price, for what it does, especially if you're towing, to me, it's very well worth it. Tesstudio really came through with this one. I want to give credit for them. Install, again, doesn't take long at all, but if you replace that screw, the install time will go a lot quicker, I promise me. All right, this is Mark from the Cyberbeast. Thanks for coming by. Hit like, comment, subscribe below. We'll see you again next week.